favorite podcast, the place where your potential climbs to new heights, one podcast at a time. Tonight we have a special group of people with you. We're going to be sharing with you something different every week. So we hope to encourage, inspire, and welcome you more than anything to these podcasts, all right? So to start off tonight, guys, we are going to get into an amazing topic, and we want everybody to just come in, share your opinions, share your point of views, and your experiences as well. So our first thing is, how do you guys identify a negative environment?
Well, I think starting off, you as a person might feel maybe depression or anxiety, and if you're feeling those types of feelings, it's not something normal. I don't think you want to live your whole life feeling like that, feeling down, feeling this dark cloud over your head. I know at some point in my life, my parents were in this big patch and they got a divorce, and it felt like it affected me and my siblings, and there was this, and I could see this dark cloud over in our home, in our environment, and it took a step forward to overcome that anxiety, overcome that negative environment that is, surrounding us.
And I think that there's maybe like several ways you could identify it. If you grow up in the negative environment, I don't think you'll be able to identify it until you start experiencing maybe like in an environment where it's positive people, and start seeing that, and you start feeling good with those people, and you like it, and you're like, and then you go back to that negative environment, and then you feel bad. That's until you experience both, that's when you could identify it. But once you know both, you'll know right away. You'll feel it in you. And but what do you guys think is the importance of getting out from a negative environment?
Start.
The importance of getting out of negative, like you said, is obviously identifying that you're in a negative by realizing what's a positive, right? And the importance of getting out, because if you're in a negative, you're only gonna know what you're used to based on your surroundings, right? But if you know that there's positive and there's another way out of that negative, it's just like a breakup, you know what I mean? It's you're only gonna know what you felt at that moment, and afterwards you're like, I can't get out of the thought that my heart got broken. But once you already realize that there's other ways, so there's more things, either breakup, divorce, or anything negative that has impacted you, or a family that's been so negative. It's like, how do you get out of something that you're used to? It's just by realizing that you want something better, you want to change, you want something that it could impact you, not only you, but as others, you know what I mean? Because there's people that are comfortable in that negativity. But it's important to also realize that there's more and better things out there. How do you realize that? It's just by knowing out there that there's something better.
I believe that it's important to get out as maybe quickly as you can. Maybe you have kids and they're watching you, and if you stay in that environment, then you're gonna bring that to your kids. Or even for someone that doesn't have kids, like for our experience, when your parents were going through a divorce and you couldn't see from one eye because of stress, and and then me too, at my home, my parents were not getting a divorce, but they were just it was not a good environment at home, like verbally abusive, family, and it was just like, we need to get out. So we decided to move out and to take that step, to be like, okay, we can't live at home anymore. This guy couldn't see anymore from one eye. Remember the geese were chasing you or something? You went through a lot. Now we laugh about it, but at the moment, either...
All I was missing was just the captain patch.
Yeah. Either he got out, or in my situation too, like either I got out, or we just, like you said, become depressed, stressed out, anxious. And so it's important, and also overall your health, because all of that, it takes a toll on your heart, on your mind, and that's when depression leads. That's when anxiety comes, and stress, and a way that you can, if you know you already identified that you live or are in a negative environment, even like at work, if you already identified it and now you want to change it, and you don't know how, maybe like I like Instagram because I feel like you can filter what you put on your Instagram, and you can start watching people that are more positive, finding people that you can relate, so that you can kind of get out of that environment that you're in. And also books, read books if once you realize that you're in that, because it's once you get out of it, it's gonna impact you in a way where it's gonna change everything around you, your surroundings, everything. Even like I said, if you have kids, like it's gonna impact your family. Like one person can impact a whole group around you.
And it's true.
And that's
because
why it's
even
important.
like the main household, if they're negative, you can feel the environment when you walk in the room. You know what I mean? And you can feel it, and not only just that person, but like everybody else too. And then that's when you start realizing it's like, man, this person's not in a good mood. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then like, you don't even want to walk into it. But then when they're in a positive or a better mood, you can feel, okay, it's a little bit lighter in the room. You know what I mean? And that's when they need to realize, hey, either I'm negative or positive. And if I'm negative, how do I become positive so I can have a better effect on the people surrounded by me? You know what I mean? Because you can tell when just somebody has like a dark cloud around them, because it affects on the attitude, on everything that they do, and it's just not a person you want to hang around with.
And like one more thing, like I know there's a lot of young people that like feel stuck at home. Like I live with my parents, and I'm in a negative environment, and like I said, that's where I believe like reading books and like watching positive YouTube videos and just putting as much positivity in your mind that's gonna impact you. I feel like the young people or people that are still at home, they just don't know how to get out of that, because they're like, well, how am I gonna be so positive or try to be positive when at home it's all negative? So in a way that they can get impacted is just by listening to positive things.
You gotta limit the amount of time you spend with the negative people, and like you said, start hanging out or listening to more positive people. So you start throwing out the negativity from your life.
I'm a little curious on that duck story. What happened? What happened with the ducks? The geese, right? The geese. So that's another story, I guess.
If you guys all want to hear it, we want to see in the comments what you guys thought. If you guys want to hear about the geese story.
All right, well, there you go, guys. It's up to you. It's up to you guys.
We can have them.
Yeah, I guess we'll wait until.
We'll wait until another video.
We'll wait and see what the people want.
Our next podcast.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to wait for the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? I think all this, identifying a negative environment, the importance of getting out of it, like they spoke. There's also a bright side. There's the impact of getting out of it. So, what do you think the biggest impact would be? Or maybe not the biggest one, because there's obviously multiple ones depending on your situation. But what do you think about that?
A main impact, I guess, would be that you're happier. You start seeing the brighter things in your day. Like, maybe you wake up one day in the morning, you're like, yes, like it's a new day. And that's just like being positive. That's like a huge impact to your day, especially like starting your mornings off, like just being positive to yourself and be like, yay, it's a new day. I guess that would help people. That's like a good impact.
Yeah, I agree with that. Completely agree with that. I definitely think that the best thing you could do every morning is wake up, create that positive environment inside your room and on your bed. Waking up, Perhaps you're looking at the mirror. If you don't have a mirror next to you, open your camera, your phone camera. Everybody sleeps next to their phone. Open your camera, look at yourself, and say, I believe in myself. I'm worthy. I'm capable. I'm the best. I'm the strongest. I'm the fastest. Just lay it out there. Motivate yourself. Push yourself. Level up your environment. I definitely think that just like anything else, if you put a shark inside a small fishbowl, and you buy those little sharks, put them inside a small fishbowl or a fish tank, that shark is only going to grow as big as its environment, as big as the bowl. But if you have a shark living under the sea, under the ocean, what do you think is going to happen? That shark's going to grow to its full potential. What happens if you have a plant that's growing under the shade of a tree? That plant has limited capability of growing because of its environment. Same thing goes to us. What's blocking your growth? What's keeping you under that shade? Perhaps somebody pushed you down. Perhaps somebody told you that they don't believe in you. Get out of that environment.
Yeah.
Find the positive environment. Ultimately, it's up to us to find the positive environment. I definitely think that we create our own environment, and therefore our environment then creates us. So it is of weak people to say, I came from there, or I went from this problem to this other situation, that's why I'm stuck here. But it is of strong people to say, I was there yesterday, but since I changed my mind, I changed my belief system, I created a better environment for myself, and now I'm in a better place. So I definitely think that people all over the world have the same potential when it comes to learning, when it comes to believing, when it comes to growing. Just that sometimes if we expand that environment definition a little bit more, we may come from different countries, where it's harder for you to become an entrepreneur, for you to start your own business, for you to share and sell like it is in the United States and many other countries. You could put something up for sale. You could sell it later on today, cash. You got your money in your pocket. You can't do that in many other countries. But I definitely think that the best environment that we could have is the one in our mindset. If you live with a positive environment, like these guys said over here, you're going to live better. You're going to live stress-free. You don't have to worry about all these health conditions. And there's just limitless amount of positivity to come to you only if you believe that you can give yourself a better environment. So I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to share.
I think nowadays it's way easier to change the way you think because of all the technology, all the access to the information that we have. Because you could see a bunch of videos on YouTube. They'll say start your day with this 5-minute positive thing, or even TikTok. You can use YouTube for good, or you can use it for bad. Yeah. So you choose which way you want to go. Who do you want to listen to, the positivity or to the negativity? Yeah. And now it's easier to be able to change and start having a positive environment.
Yeah. That's very true. How many people haven't heard this? I remember a while back when my wife and I were just boyfriend and girlfriend, there came a time when her friends would say, just leave him. Just leave him, My friends, same thing. They would be like, hey, there's a ton of girls out there. There's a ton of chicks, whatever. Go have some fun. But that was their point of view. They were single. They were having fun. But what do you want for your life? Your environment depends on you. So be sure that you connect to the positive one. Be sure that you connect to the one that benefits you and your future generations, because you can make a difference. And we all believe in you. We know you can make a difference. What do you guys think? Do you think that you can make a difference just for changing your environment? Do you think that changing the music you listen to, the movies you listen to also have an impact on your environment?
Oh, definitely.
It does. I'm gonna go back on the other point. Having words of affirmation also helps. Like you said, waking up in the morning, having the words of affirmation, knowing how it's gonna positive words in starting your day is gonna affect you. Another thing, like obviously, nobody wants to wake up and say, today's gonna be worse than yesterday. You know what I mean? At least for me, I wake up, it's like, well, we gotta think that we're alive, but also that we're gonna have a better day than yesterday. And let today be a better day. Just with that in the beginning, just saying that today's gonna be a better day than yesterday, you're already right there, at least in a path to wherever you're at, or even to work or whatever you're doing in the morning. But you're already saying yourself that today is gonna be a better day.
Yeah, gratitude. Having gratitude, and sorry to interrupt.
Right.
Like with gratitude, and in my case, like believing in a higher power, I believe that helped me get out of my mental state. I've never, thankfully, been depressed. I don't know what that really means, but I've been really sad, and at a moment where I didn't have anybody, not even my partner, like when I was at home, because I was at home by myself and in my own thoughts, I believe the only thing that helped me was just to talk to a higher power and to God, and what we were saying, positive affirmation. But what I feel like gratitude is number one, and then positive affirmation, because we should be grateful for being alive. And then after that, we can say, God, I am this, I am that. But I believe that if you wake up every morning with gratitude, I believe that changes your whole mindset, because then you're thankful, and then that starts your day in a positive way.
I think once you identify that you're in a negative environment and decide to change it to a positive environment, you gotta start into the habit of listening to positive, either videos, podcasts, whatever it is. But you gotta make that habit of listening or hanging out around positive people. But do it every day, at least a little bit, so you can start getting the habit of becoming more positive.
And it
get rid
becomes
of the negative.
contagious.
It is, and then just like music, anything that we listen to, anything that we watch, we want to become. You know what I mean? We listen to the obviously the music, and that's what we want to do. We see music videos and we see the way they dance. We want to create the same way. You know what I mean? And then that's how you can see all these challenges come up. You know what I mean? Based on what they see, based on what they hear. So it's all it's all effects on what we see, what we watch, and what we hear.
That's why it's called entertainment, because you're entering, something is entering your home. Entertainment, or your mind. I heard that today. I'm like, oh, that's so true.
That's
entertainment.
That is really good.
Yeah, that's good.
Take notes, guys.
No, it's a good way to
These
think about
words are put there,
Yeah.
like in Spanish, novelas, novelas,
Yeah.
It's funny,
Soap operas. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
Going back to what Agustin said, that in the beginning, he did say that you have to know or experience a different environment in order for you to know that you are in a negative one. I heard this story a while back of this young girl. She was kidnapped by her neighbor, and her neighbor kept her hostage in his basement, for years. She became a teenager. She became an adult. She ended up having 4 kids with this guy. That he raped her. He kidnapped her for years. The only thing she knew was that lifestyle. A few years later, the guy that kidnapped her let her go out into the store. She had a baby. They would go to the park with the kids. They would go to the mall with the kids. She didn't think much of it until one person saw her, and she said, "You know what? I think I know that girl. I think I know her from one of the flyers back in the day when she was missing." And it turns out that the more she started talking to the girl, she ended up being the girl that was kidnapped 20 years back. So when this came out into light, she admitted that she was like, I had no idea that this happened to me. I thought that's how life was, that I had to serve this person, I had to marry him, and that's all that I knew. So that's when we go back to what you said. You have to experience something else in order for you to know either better or worse. So... And here we go again with gratitude. We have to be thankful every day that we're in a better place, that we're not in a worse place. Even if don't compare yourself to other people, but compare yourself to your you yesterday. Be sure that you are a better you today than you were yesterday. And if you are not a better you today than you were yesterday, tomorrow will be better.
Yeah.
All right, guys? So always keep that optimism in your mind, in your heart. And spread it out. That's what we aspire to bring you guys with these podcasts. Some encouragement, some hope, and we will see you guys again next time. So stay tuned, guys. Are you guys ready to say goodbye, or you guys want to share something else?
We're good.
I think people.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
See, no, part 2.
Part two, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time in your favorite podcast channel. See you guys later.